Sketchy Fiancé in missing woman case accuses those around him. On the evening of August 13, 2011, a panicked call came to the Fairfield, Ohio Police Department. "My name is John Carter. I know you're not supposed to report a missing person before 24 hours. But I haven't been able to contact my fiancée today." Carter told the dispatcher that he had gone to Caitlin Markham's home, a 21-year-old art student, and found her car, wallet, and sketchbooks still there, but the young woman had vanished. Caitlin Markham and John Carter had been together for 6 years. They planned to move to Colorado that November. On her art website, Caitlin described herself as snarky, but to family and friends, she was a free-spirited artist who loved films and indie music. John Carter was more reserved, but generally a normal, likable guy. According to Carter's statement, the night before Caitlin disappeared, they watched movies and smoked marijuana with a friend. After the friend left around 10:45 p.m., Carter also left Caitlin's home at 11 to 11:30 p.m. to go to a friend's house in Hamilton. The last time he saw her was at midnight, when she was getting ready for bed. Police quickly began investigating. At Caitlin's apartment, they found no signs of disturbance or struggle. Her car was still parked outside. Her dark red BlackBerry phone was the only thing missing with her. Phone records showed the BlackBerry stopped functioning at 12:06 a.m. and never turned back on. When Carter arrived at the police station for questioning, investigators noticed something suspicious: red scratches running down the left side of his neck. Carter explained they were caused by an electric razor, but investigators weren't entirely convinced. They asked Carter to take a voice stress analysis test, and he agreed. During the first 2 weeks after Caitlin's disappearance, the local community began search efforts. Tim Miller, founder of Texas EquiSearch, came to Fairfield with 25 volunteers to scour the wooded areas around Caitlin's home. Her family posted a $5 reward for information, eventually increasing it to $100. But they found nothing. Suspicions about Carter grew. Investigators discovered the scratches on his neck didn't match an electric razor blade. The friend who had been with the couple on Saturday evening told investigators he didn't remember seeing any scratches on Carter's neck that night. The voice stress analysis test results didn't help ease suspicions either. Throughout the investigation, Carter continuously pointed fingers at others. He mentioned a creepy guy who liked to scare women, even Caitlin's friends. In his initial 911 call, he suggested that suspicious people at the nearby Sacred Heart Festival might be connected to her disappearance. Carter's statements about the timeline of events were also inconsistent. He said he left Caitlin's home at 11:30 p.m., drove 15 to 20 minutes to his friend's house, burned a bag of papers for Caitlin, and texted her at 11:36 p.m. Investigators found this hard to believe. They also noticed that messages between Carter and Caitlin from 7:53 p.m. to 11:36 p.m. on August 13 had been deleted from his phone. Carter couldn't explain why. In mid-April 2013, a man searching for scrap metal in the woods near Big Cedar Creek, about 20 miles west of Caitlin's home, stumbled upon a human jawbone. Upon further investigation, he realized it wasn't just a piece of bone but nearly an entire human skeleton, including the skull wrapped in a grocery store plastic bag. Just days later, the remains were confirmed to be those of Caitlin Markham, who was almost 22 years old. The medical examiner quickly ruled Caitlin's death a homicide, but family, friends, and the public wouldn't know details for a long time. The case became more complicated because the remains were found across state lines. In Cedar Grove, Indiana, a small town with fewer than 160 residents in 2012. In 2014, Dave Markham, Caitlin's father, hired a private investigator. In 2015, he held a press conference requesting the Butler County Sheriff's Office take over the investigation, believing Fairfield police had made some crucial mistakes in the days after his daughter disappeared. Butler County agreed to step in, and less than a year later, they announced they had a suspect in Caitlin Markham's murder. It would take another 6 years for law enforcement to gather enough evidence for an arrest. On February 7, 2023, Jonathan Palmer, 35, was the first person arrested in connection with Caitlin Markham's murder. Palmer was charged with felony perjury, meaning police had reason to believe he intentionally made false statements under oath. In 2011, The 22-year-old Palmer was part of John Carter's close friend circle. Palmer's arrest came after investigators executed 2 search warrants, one at Palmer's 2011 Fairfield residence and one at where John Carter lived in 2011. His mother's house, less than half a mile from Caitlin's apartment. The searches not only linked Palmer to the case but confirmed witness testimony that contradicted the story Carter had told police for the past decade. Witnesses described seeing a red Ford Focus, Carter's car, and a dark blue 4-door sedan arrive at Carter's mother's house at around 1:30 to 2 a.m. on August 14, 2011. They saw the Ford Focus pull into the garage. Then 5 to 15 minutes later, the garage door opened and both cars left. Data from Carter's computer showed he started White Collar Season 2 Episode 12 at 1:39 a.m. Over the next 2.5 hours, approximately 2 more episodes played. The computer data proved the episodes played but didn't prove Carter watched them. Law enforcement had reason to speculate Carter may have turned on the show to create an alibi while his friend waited outside in the blue sedan. On March 22, 2023, 11 years, 7 months, and 11 days after Caitlin Markham was last seen, John Carter was arrested. Afterward, law enforcement began releasing details about Caitlin's death. Results from the University of Indianapolis Archaeology and Forensics Lab showed an injury on Caitlin's left wrist bone. This injury was not necessarily the cause of death. Instead, it suggested her body may have been dismembered. The examination also revealed that examiners found very little decomposition fluid or tissue on Caitlin's skull, meaning experts believe her body may have been kept somewhere other than the wooded area where her remains were found off Big Cedar Road. And wherever they were hidden, they had likely been there for a long time. John Carter's trial was scheduled for April 2023. Despite overwhelming evidence against him, he entered a not guilty plea. Not long after his indictment, Carter posted the $1 million bail and was free again. Also in April, John Palmer was released on $50 bail. He was ordered to wear a GPS monitoring ankle bracelet and report to court weekly until his court date. Eventually, Palmer's trial was canceled, and charges against him were dismissed. Just weeks before Carter's trial was set to begin, prosecutors announced shocking news. They agreed to drop the murder charge if Carter would plead guilty to the lesser charge of involuntary manslaughter. After reaching an agreement with prosecutors, Carter changed his plea to guilty and admitted to going with Jonathan Palmer and Caitlin Markham to his father's house on Cookamo Street on the night of August 13, 2011. In July 2024, a judge sentenced John Carter to the maximum sentence allowed under Ohio law, 3 years in prison. Since then, he has been transferred from Butler County Jail to the Ohio Correctional Reception Center. His expected release date is July 4, 2027. He will be 39 years old. Although John Carter has pleaded guilty to manslaughter, many questions remain unanswered. What really happened on that fateful night? Why did Caitlin Markham have to die? What was Jonathan Palmer's exact role? And why did it take so long to uncover the truth? The only certainty is that Caitlin's family and friends will forever be haunted by her disappearance and death, a tragedy that should never have happened, but will forever change the lives of everyone involved.